Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Quad Consulting's A Day in the Life of 2021. We know it's been a little while. We wanted to come to you all because a lot has taken place in this short time span this month and this year of 2021. I know everyone is aware of what's going on at the Capitol, just even with certifying the election and then the events, and that's what I'll call them, the events, because I think probably everyone has had more than enough of what has been talked about with what took place at the Capitol. I think we're in a scary and sad state. um, we have to stay prayed up, those of us that are religious. I'm not trying to call out any specific religion, whatever, just whatever it takes for you. Meditate on this, be prayerful on it, and be diligent and pay attention to your surroundings because it's just some tough times right now. We do have on the call with us Crystal J. We appreciate you calling in with us. Want to see what you might have and what take you might have on just what took place, and with the election leading up to the certification of the votes, and then what took place at the Capitol. If you want to kind of touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think is very concerning. I think that the storming of the Capitol said a lot about not only what people are really thinking and what they're really feeling, but also what Black people have already known about our law enforcement agencies. When everybody acted surprised that, oh, we have law enforcement officers and actual other political figures were in this crowd of people that stormed the Capitol.
Right.
Everybody on the news outlets were like, shocked and appalled. And, Black people are shaking their heads like, we've been telling you this.
Right. Yeah,
So,
that's true.
I think it's eye opening for a lot of people that may have been in denial. I think
Right.
that there were a lot of people that were fine when these types of people were terrorizing other ethnic groups. But when they started to terrorize them, it's like, oh, we have to do something about it.
Right. True.
We've been telling you that these types of people are here. They are among us. They are in, your police unions. They are in the people that you sit next to. This was an inside job. You had several congressmen and representatives that knew that this was happening. How did these
Right.
people know where to go? How did they get a map of the Capitol? That's not published information. So
Exactly.
a lot of this is just letting me know that we worry a lot about foreign terrorism when
Yes.
domestic terrorism should be our number one concern.
Yes.
I also think that this says a lot about personal protection for us and our families and our homes, because one of the things is a lot of these people are cowards, though.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
everybody know that you real big and bad when it's 20 of you. But
Yes.
when it's just
Exactly.
when it's just one of you,
Yeah.
you're not gonna make that much noise. But it just really did vocalize for me what I've always thought, and that is, we have a lot of, and not just white people, man. We have a lot of people that are just in denial about what this country really looks like,
That's true.
what's really going on. And I
That's
think
true.
this storming of the Capitol was just eye opening for these people. I mean, and now that we have, you're arresting these people, but these are slaps on, these are misdemeanors. These are
Yeah,
again,
you're not
it's a
putting the
money movement
You're
now
not putting
yeah
the
the
that
federal
federal
already started
charges.
charges
taking
on.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Not putting the federal charges on there that it should be, because they breached federal building during a session, the whole 9 yards. But I mean, I'm not going to try to bring anybody down farther than what they probably already are, because like you said, we've been saying this and it's been pushed back to us, a lot of times, of why do you keep making it about race and why do you keep making it about this, so the
Until it
majority of
happens.
us aren't surprised, but like I said, it's not all just white people either that are in denial about a whole lot of things, not just the election, but quite a few things.
Only time change happened pretty much when it happened in their backyard. Then they want to instantly make that change. Oh, now we got to do something. Now we see something.
Right.
Because you
Right.
could tell if nobody was prepared.
Yeah, yeah,
No one.
yeah. They just, I mean, because they really didn't
And I
want
don't think the lack of
to.
preparation was intentional though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so do I.
Yeah.
I do too. That was the first thing I thought about. And we have another caller on, Andrea. We're speaking on just starting out with the events that happened at the Capitol, and just kind of how it sets in your spirit and what do you think about everything?
Oh wow. Hi, good evening, everybody. And I'm glad to be here tonight. And it's just I don't know. I think this is just uncharted waters,
Yeah,
not really sure how to think about all this. It's
right,
amazing to me that people are trying to like take over our country,
right.
literally.
Yes, yes.
And then that it's like I don't know. It's like almost like a new normal for the United States, and it's this is really
True.
not.
Right.
Right. That's true. That's a good way
It's
to
not.
put that. That
It's
is
not
true.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
and like these people should be. Any other. It's like treason. It's sedition. They are
Hmm.
trying to overturn our government.
Right.
True,
True.
true. Yeah. And with all, leading up to so many events going on, I mean, today is a celebration or should be a day of celebration for Martin Luther King Day. And I mean, I definitely still did, but I was very careful with what I did, how I did. I did more like community service type situation to just go over to the new Mount Rose Missionary Baptist Church in Fort Worth with Reverend Tatum and his group and observed, what they've been doing for a while now since the pandemic, which they are just so awesome with everything that their efforts are doing and helping feed the community, get masks to the community. I mean, today I went live on Facebook just to even show they were giving out clothes for free to, homeless people or just people that are in need because, you just don't think about what all is going on just even from this pandemic and what people really are in need of. So I thought that was so awesome. And, it was good to see because even though we saw the events at the Capitol, me personally, I don't feel like it's over. We still got the inauguration and everything else. I mean, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is historical, but at the same time, this is not over. They can't wave a magic wand and fix things overnight anyway, because America's been broken for a lot longer than Donald Trump. So,
I was thinking about this, y'all. Like they had people that were, infiltrating, coming to the White House, but I mean to the Capitol building.
yeah,
But my thought was, what about the individuals that are in the Capitol building already?
that's right.
I know, what I'm saying? Like they have these people, if the president is, egging this on or,
Yeah,
you have his enablers who have been enabling him
that's
and
right.
supporting his agenda all this
Yeah,
time. So you don't know who to trust in there.
that's
Right.
right. That's right. That is so true.
I mean,
Because now,
that is scary because, like, we have people that are in our government that are,
selling us out.
supposed to be right.
Yeah. Yeah, they've sold us out. I mean, for all the things that have been put in place with our Constitution, whole thing to try to prevent a dictatorship, things like that, authoritarian, it really doesn't matter when, as you said, you have all these other people that are complicit. So they allow it to take place.
Yeah.
So I've had conversations even with coworkers where I'm like, you know what? I can't just dog all the way 100% Donald Trump, old Donald Trump, because Donald Trump couldn't be Donald Trump unless someone helped him, and assisted in all these other pieces to, you make a cake or a pie, it take a whole lot of ingredients.
Right.
And
You gotta mix
Right.
it up.
yeah, so it's like you got to go to Walmart to get all your different ingredients
Right.
to make it happen. So I totally agree with you on that. I mean, it's been amazing, been interesting to watch. I think for me, the biggest thing myself and a coworker were talking about the other day was that, we're used to, I think our problem is we're used to being taught history in school. So even with the pandemic, we read about the Spanish flu, but now we're living a flu. We're living a pandemic. People don't realize that you don't think about. You're actually living the history. And so that's what we're doing now is it's awakening us to realize we are living this history.
So history repeats
Yeah, that it's repeating, on all levels, because you heard them on the news where they're talking about, the last time this ever happened was, when the British came over, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? It ain't the British this time, And so, I think we're just in a interesting state that we have to be very diligent, very careful, and especially all people, but with us as women, for sure, we have to keep our links together if we're going out and even in the daylight, but just especially at nighttime, then we got to stay on telephones with one another, make sure, hey girl, you in, check in on one another.
That's true.
For our own well-being.
Check your kids.
Yeah, man.
Gotta make sure everybody pretty much safe.
Right. Because it is what it is. It's that mob mentality. And so, all it takes is one or two to yell fire.
Right.
And then, all hell will break loose after that. So, but, well, I appreciate y'all's input on that. I've rolled into the MLK. I want to see how you all's day has been today and what all you guys have done. Andrea, you're already speaking, so if you would speak to that, what's been going on with you today, girl?
Well, I'm just I guess kind of working at home.
Okay.
And I guess celebrating at home. I
Right.
didn't get, unfortunately, I didn't get out today, but I do appreciate, the time and the day, and definitely appreciate, Dr. Martin Luther King and all he's done for us. So
Right.
yes. So it's just been kind of a quiet day working.
Yeah. And sometimes that's good.
Get your mindset right, change your mindset, think about things that you can accomplish.
Right.
Yes.
Keep the fight going, shoot.
Right.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Peace is always good. So if it's quiet, that's all right. Sometimes it's been too much noise, I think. So that's a blessing. Crystal J, what'd you do for the day? Uh-oh, did we lose you, Crystal?
No, yeah, you guys are going in and out, but as far as the day, I'm always kind of on top of it, being that I have a young student in my household, and I try to make sure we do something every year to remind her and fill her in, because they're not getting the history that we got. Even though what we got was a little shabby, I think that my 5th and 6th grade teachers were probably the biggest supporters of making sure that their classes knew true and real Black history. And our kids don't really get that. And what I noticed today with being on social media for them is their new learning curve. And I think I saw some derogatory things about Martin Luther King and, his personal life and everything. And I was thinking to myself, that our children will not get the same version of him that we got.
Right.
And how important it is to make sure that, unfortunately, we literally have to teach our kids the true history of this country and the history of our people ourselves. And these are things that we depend on the school systems to do, because obviously we pay taxes and you've made it a law that we must send our children to school, but you don't hold up your end of the bargain in teaching them accurate information, if you teach it to them at all. And, I just thought it was important to make sure that one of the things that I want my daughter to know is that everybody has a past, everybody has made mistakes, but, you make sure that you determine what you want people to remember you by. And one of the things that I remember is the youth of Dr. Martin Luther King and how young he was when
He was.
He
the
was,
biggest events of his life took place.
Exactly.
This man was under 30 years old and he was doing all of these things. And I don't think everybody really understands
Nope.
that when we look back at history, how young this man was and
Right.
how he was literally moving mountains. I mean,
Exactly.
this man was moving the
Right.
world and changing the world. And when we look at our kids, you know, empowering them and saying, look, you can do this.
Right.
Your resources are much more, your networks are bigger, your
Right.
opportunities. This man had to literally pillar to post his way across the country to spread the gospel of nonviolence.
That's
And you
right.
guys have a cell phone, you
Yeah.
guys have a laptop,
Right.
an
Right.
iPad. So I just want them to know, you know, and I say it a lot of times, I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. If you see something that needs to be changed and you feel like, hey, you could be a part of that change, do it. If you feel like you need some help, find some people to help you. But it can be done because I don't think they realize just how young this man was when he undertook making this country a better place, literally for us and for
Exactly.
you. You
Exactly.
know, so I try to make sure that I say that and I reiterate that to the kids. Like, look,
Right.
man, you can make it happen. This man was not an old man. It just the photos look like this, the videos look like this. But
Right.
this was a young man.
Right, exactly. Because like you're saying, I was just speaking on that earlier with like, okay, a lot of the stuff that we know Herbert Hoover is who came out with that to try to discredit, and we know what he was all about him in his own personal life. You know, like I said, everybody makes mistakes anyway, but you know, because no one's perfect, but we're talking about a young man, you know, with, I mean, in his 20s when we're saying that, you know, to jump things off. And so, yes, he was married, he had children, you know, but I mean, there's a whole lot of other things out there for the one little mistake they want to keep trying to put out there and push and try to knock him down about because he was doing so well. Because I mean, we know that's what they always do is try to get out in front of it and change the narrative. And you know, with anything, I mean, you know, we get shot in the head, back, neck, behind, whatever, and then first thing they start saying, well, you know, Yvette, she ran a couple of red lights, you know.
They're gonna discredit you.
Yeah, to discredit, you know. So and people, because unfortunately, human nature, we'd rather jump on the gossip, you know, and so they play to that, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, but I definitely I applaud you for that because my parents, they actually lived through Jim Crow. And then my sisters, they ended up, because they're a little bit in head of me, I give them a hard time, but they were the first and in the schools, like integrating in back home. And so we try to share that within the kids within our family to know that, you know what, you do not have to look far for real historian,
right,
you know, making
right
history, making people right in your own house. You know, at one point my mother was the first and only Black instructor for beauticians in Amarillo for the whole city, you know, and everything. And she was the only one for a long time. And my dad and his oldest brothers who helped get her in school to accomplish that, you know. So that's major for me, you know. But I do remember our parents telling me and my brother that like learn what you need, what they want you to learn in school so you can pass, because they're the ones that are in control of that. But then we'll come back and teach you what really happened in history because we lived it, you know. And I appreciate being able to have a live encyclopedia or a live Google for the kids nowadays so that they know what I'm talking about when I say encyclopedia, because they were able to give us the insight for all of that and everything. I'd like to take a little quick break right here and say welcome to all our viewers, anybody that's listening or watching. Be sure to hit like, subscribe, and share this video. We appreciate all of you for that. And click on the links and donate. I don't care if it's $1. This helps us keep things going and, you know, pay for this internet that we got to use to come on board, you know, so we can reach you guys and try to bring you topics that will help you. I definitely appreciate my callers. our callers that are on here tonight, you all, these are entrepreneurs. These are young ladies
Right.
that are doing the thing. They working, they juggling regular jobs and then getting their entrepreneurship on. So I want y'all to appreciate them as well. We're gonna have segments with both of them. We're gonna have part
Multiple
two.
streams of
Yeah,
income.
multiple streams of income with Andrea Gonzalez. We're gonna have part two
Right.
with her coming up. So, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, Crystal J, we got her going. I mean, we're talking, she heard her say she has a child at home. She's juggling regular jobs. She's juggling school with her, helping her out. She's juggling, you know, entrepreneurship with on the side, doing different things, trying to get her kid going with those type of things. So this is not a joke. We're in it to win it. And I appreciate these young ladies calling in. So again, remember, like, share, subscribe for us. I appreciate y'all giving us information on what y'all did for today, and Andrea having a peaceful day. That's wonderful. I love peace.
Right.
You know, as
Yes.
chaos as possible, you know. So we're gonna kind of go into like, what are plans coming up? What do y'all think? You know, just with everything that's going on, pandemic, we got to still stay safe, diligent. You know, vaccine is coming out, being administered to different ones, but we still got an election, inauguration coming up as well. You know, they made history, you know, and everything, but boy, you tie in events that happen, and then, like they said, we got more troops in DC than we got overseas right now. So that's just amazing to me, you know, coming from a family that had men in World War II's, World War One, my grandfather's World War One, you know, just pretty much served in all these wars. And I mean,
To have it so chaotic.
yeah,
It is just so chaotic. Too
yeah,
much chaos.
yeah. I mean, from the beginning, even
Yeah.
before all of this happening on the 6th, my take on it was all of this mess need to just be virtual anyway.
Right.
You know, I mean, because I'm not being funny, but hey, they talk about Donald Trump's age, but Joe Biden's older than Donald Trump. So I'm like, why don't y'all just do a Zoom swearing in, and everybody stay at their house and talk to each other, and run the country like that. You know.
Like everything on social media.
Yeah, man, it's like, good grief, you know. This that was before anything that happened on the 6th. So I mean, boy, this is definitely gonna be a different one. What y'all planning on watching it? Just, I mean, I try to watch either side. I'm like, I'm independent is the way I call myself. I don't associate, say, oh, I'm staunchly Democrat or staunchly Republican. You know, I try to go and listen to what's really being said by whom, and either way,
Me.
yeah, either way, we're gonna have to push these people anyhow. So, you know, because like Andrea said earlier, I mean, we don't know who up there now with who shot John. You know, we got a whole bunch of folks that's undercover. So I mean, but what y'all plans for the inauguration, or do you even care?
You know, this is Crystal. I think it's a formality for me. I'm not going to tune in. I think that, you know, this happens with every election, and I think
Right.
now it's being magnified because of, you know, the accusation of the election being stolen. You know,
Right.
these people storming the Capitol as a result of that. I think that I will not be tuning in. I think that my efforts really need to be, and I say this, you know, every year and something comes up, but I really think we need to pay attention to who our state representatives are, because
Right.
the storming of the Capitol has magnified that even more for me. It had always been on my mind, but I just said to myself, Crystal, these people that are at the state capitals are people that we've elected and put in there.
That's
And
right.
if these people are able to allow, you know, domestic terrorists to come and disrupt the very politics that they say this country is founded upon. Is,
Right.
you know, it's one of those things that I said, hey, you know what your attention needs to be is who's in your local government in the state of Texas, and how
That's
can
right.
you change who you have there? Because what's happening in Washington in the White House has already happened. They're
Right.
going to the baton is about to change hands, and there's nothing that we can do about that. But what I can do something about is pay more attention to these local elections and who we put in place to go to DC to represent us. And that really is a focus that I have right now. So whatever their inaugural processes are going to be, and how, they won't be able to do the bells and whistles because, so much is going on. I think we're losing focus on the fact that we are literally losing people by the minute.
Yeah.
People are dying by the minute. The virus is mutating.
You're right.
You literally have people who are staunchly afraid of their lives, afraid to lose their lives. And the emphasis is being placed so much on commerce and money that we don't want to shut anything down because we don't want to lose any money.
Right.
And I'm thinking to myself, this is the most powerful, one of the most powerful countries in the world, and we can't get it right to send people money for food.
Exactly.
So I got bigger things on my mind kind of than the inauguration, especially with the way that they're going to have to actually, hand it off. And like you said, all of the security that's down there, it's like, it should have been something that was behind closed doors. We should have never even said, hey, we're going to try to pull this off and we're going to send security here. Why would we even do that? Because now we've allowed the focus to be pulled away from our borders, because remember, these military personnel people are usually in different places. They're not just hanging out in DC. So now we've created a vulnerability for ourselves. When it comes to other enemies, it's like, hey, nobody's securing our borders. And granted, I don't think we're just out there fully vulnerable, but it does change the usual amount of security that we would have. So I just, I won't be tuning in, but I wish them the best. I think this is a very, very historical and monumental moment. I hate that we are having to modify it the way we are, because I think our children deserve to see this change take place, that we have a woman of color that is about to be our vice president. And they won't be able to get it and understand it and celebrate it and receive it the way they deserve to.
The way they deserve,
But I really hope that in the coming, years of his and her placement in office, they really do show us something, especially show our children something different than what they've already seen.
That's right. True. Andrea, your take on it?
Well, I'm a school teacher by day, so
all right.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, I guess I might be at work.
Right.
I don't know. I would like to watch it and see. Definitely see. Joe Biden. I've been behind him, from the beginning. He was my number one choice for president. So
right.
I'm happy to see him there. And I just think I think he's a good person. He has a good heart.
Right.
And so, I'm just glad to see good. And then, of course, so proud of my soror.
I look like D9 sister.
Yes. It's in the White House.
Okay.
Yes, honey. Yes. Okay. So I will be tuning in some kind of way.
I hear you.
You might not see all of it, but you're gonna see the most important part of it.
Yes, the children. If I had a children, I guess we all gonna be watching. I don't know.
Okay, true. That is true. Yeah, I understand. I mean, it's like I definitely get what Crystal is saying as well. It's like, it's just been so much that because of us, we didn't take care of these kids at a point. And I say we, because like she said, we got slack. We didn't pay attention to who we were voting into some positions. And so that's how some things have gotten out of hand, I feel like, to where the kids and, so many things that are taken away from them that we even had, and so they're gonna miss out on some stuff. But, I mean, I haven't decided if I'm gonna watch or not watch. I mean, I've never really watched too many of them to begin with. Obviously, when Barack won and everything, I was working at another hospital where the media guys were housed in the department, same area with us. So heck, that guy was like streaming it live, and and he kept calling us in there to watch stuff, so we didn't get much work done during that day, because he's like, come watch this now. This is what's happening. And, so, I mean, that was pretty cool, but I'm like you, most of the time I've been at work anyhow. So I just catch the blurps on the news in the evening time, usually with them. But that was still pretty cool to be able to watch it live at that time. But, I haven't decided. I mean, now with everything with the pandemic, I'm working from home, but heck, sometimes we get overload with having the internet going, and then you got the television going, and and everything start going haywire. So I don't even know if I need to turn on too many different things, during the day, depending on. So we'll see. I'm being prayer for all of them, everybody. When I'm praying, I'm praying to the real God. I ain't trying to separate nothing out and be like, oh, I pray for nothing but Democrats. It has nothing to do with that. I just pray that everybody, everyone gains real, true understanding and discernment. And, we gotta get it together. We gotta get it together quick, because if we keep fighting against one another, man, a house divided, come on now. Yeah, that's gonna fall. So we got to pull it together, suck it up, and because some of it, in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're saying that it was a stolen election, and but why? How did the same Republicans on the same ticket win? So it's like, if we were stealing it, why didn't they just steal it from everybody? But anyhow, that's a whole nother piece.
Yes.
Look, that's not what we're talking about tonight. We're gonna keep it
So
light.
look, I want to put this out in the atmosphere, and I don't know if anybody is listening up there in the government, Joe, President Biden, Vice President Kamala, whoever task it is to deal with these student loans. Okay.
Hello. I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. Now they can make that my stimulus. I'm with you. They can make that my stimulus.
But but we need to put this out there. Whatever student loans, he gonna wipe out student loans now.
Right.
He need to wipe out all the interest that go with it.
That part too. Yeah, we want the whole shebang.
So so that needs to be student loan, however many thousands, and all interest accrued. Therefore, thereof. That needs to be in the memo.
Yes.
Because the interest outweighs the principal.
Right.
That's why we cannot pay these student loans, because it's the interest, the compound interest, it just grows, interest on top of interest. So that's what the problem is.
Yes.
So they need to pay the interest and the principal.
Thank you. Yeah, when you say wipe it clean. So
right.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you all being on here. That's a great note to end this on, I think, because I am so with you on that. Because if he need an idea about a stimulus, then for that he can show that can be my stimulus. So because there's so many. Unfortunately, I know of some friends that on disability have been for years, and they never even received the first one, and it's like that whole debacle. And that's what I call it, because, he's getting his check direct deposited, it coming straight from the same government. So why? But anyway, that'll be another day in the life on Quad, on that one. But I'm definitely with you on this student loan thing. And Joe, Kamala, one also,
who is the education secretary? We need to send him a memo.
I'm getting whoever can get the message to somebody, Andrea. I'm just calling all these names I can think of. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I call on you, all of you. Come on now, let's do this doggone thing.
Yes.
I will accept that as my stimulus.
Yes, and then and our teachers, public service. Now I think the teachers of public service, we should have it wiped out.
Man,
First Lady Jill.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, somebody got to hear us tonight, like Bernie Mac tonight. I agree.
Yeah, and fix it going forward too.
Yeah,
Fix it
yeah,
going
that
forward so
part.
our babies
That
can go
part.
to
Yeah,
school
you're right.
without the
You're right.
fear of
Yeah.
falling into debt, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
How about
Right.
this disclaimer I did?
Yeah.
Just watch us out, start over.
Yeah, that's
Fix
true.
it
Too.
now
Just
and
hit the
fix it for
reset
Yeah,
button.
get the reset.
Yeah, it's been
Give my full credit.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Don't start me out with a
What
little
is
bit.
Joe?
Yeah.
What does he have to lose? Okay.
Right.
That's what I'm talking about.
So he
Start
gonna
this-
probably be a one-term president anyway. So you
Right,
might
right. Exactly. I mean, because
do
come
it
on,
big.
dude, you 78. So seriously, I mean, you know, let's do this but let's make this last. Let's make it last forever. I'm like,
Yes.
Keith Sweat, make it last forever.
Look, go out with a big bang with us.
Yeah, definitely. But I appreciate you ladies for coming on. I mean, awesome people, everybody, our audience that's listening. Thank you. Remember to like, share, subscribe. And we got two of the best entrepreneurs on here, Crystal J, Andrea Gonzalez.
Tune in next week.
Tune in next week for this part 2 with Miss Andrea Gonzalez. We're going to keep it rolling. So we appreciate you all. And thank you, ladies, for joining us this evening.